Today, I'll show you how to replace the fabric on these outdoor cushions. The owner bought this set on Facebook Marketplace, but they want a new color, and I'm gonna change the design a little bit to add a hidden zipper. That'll make these easier to clean or replace the foam in the future. I think that new fabric is gonna look great, so let's get started. Both the seat and wedge cushions are constructed with one long center panel and two side panels that cap off the ends. This style of cushion looks great because it's seamless on the front and it's flippable, but when making them, there's very little room for error because the center panel and side panels have to line up perfectly. I'll be able to seam rip and steal the pattern for the original side panels, but since I'm adding a zipper, I'll show you how to measure and make a new pattern for the center panels. The reason I'm making my own pattern for the main panel piece is when I add my hidden zipper at the bottom, it's got some extra seam allowance that I need to account for. Once I got the cushion deconstructed, I marked down the side panel measurements, which are 17 inches tall, and it tapers from 6 to 4 inches wide. Another thing to note while I have this piece laid out is the radius. I can see they started the curve about an inch away from the edge of the fabric, so I'll replicate that. I'm actually going to reuse this piping cord because it's already the perfect length, and I like this smaller size. To create the new center panel, measure around the circumference of the cushion with just a little bit of tension. You don't want this to be too baggy. For this cushion, it's 39.5 inches. A zipper will be attached to each end of the center panel, so the seam allowances I need for that are 1.5 inches for the side with the flap, which will hide the zipper, and 1/4 inch for the other side. For the width, I measured 23 inches across and added 1/2 inch of seam allowance on each side. So my cut measurements for this piece are 41 by 24 inches. I'm using Sunbrella for this project, which is a premium outdoor upholstery fabric. It's solution dyed acrylic, which means it's water resistant, easy to clean, and highly durable against abrasion, UV, and fading, because I want these to last as long as possible. Alright, so here's my most important tip for the video. Either make a prototype with scrap fabric, or only cut enough fabric for one cushion as you make your first one. I mentioned this style of cushion can be hard to line up properly, so I'm expecting to need a slight tweak to the length of the center panel. If and when that happens, I can adjust my measurements and cut out the fabric for the rest of the cushions once I've troubleshooted the pattern. I cut the piping fabric 41 inches long and just 1.25 inches wide since this cord is pretty small. I'd also really recommend cutting the piping fabric on the bias, so the fabric will stretch and compress more easily, making for smoother corners. Here's the difference between bias cut piping and regular cut piping. I did break the rule I just said by cutting all the piping for all the cushions at once, but I did cut these oversized, so there's less risk of running into issues. To sew this piping, I used the center piping foot and the standard outside foot. The piping outside foot would work fine as well, but the standard one works really great with this smaller piping. The piping center foot is essential for sewing piping in my opinion. It has a slope that does an amazing job of preventing you from accidentally sewing through your cord. If the foot lands on the cord, the shape of it will naturally push it out of the way of the needle and into the correct position, which is a lifesaver. I can use this sewing setup for the whole project, but if you're using a different machine, you may need to switch between a zipper foot and a piping foot. I used a small strip of basting tape to fold a hem on the end of the piping, which will make joining the ends together much easier. To begin sewing, position the piping fabric towards the center of the fabric and sew all around the perimeter. When I approached the corners, I marked 1 inch from the edge and cut relief slits to help the fabric turn the corner. Marking them this way keeps everything uniform in the end. I continued that for each corner until I made it back to where I started. I trimmed the excess length and tucked the end of the piping into the hem that I created earlier. Then I repeated that for the other side. You may want to keep in mind where that join will land so you can position it intentionally. I placed mine on the back side of the cushion near the bottom. The next step is installing the zipper on the center panel. I'm using a number 5 Linzip coil zipper, and I cut it just a little bit long. I separated the two sides and placed it down on the edge of the fabric. I took that to the sewing machine and sewed it with the needle in the right position. I didn't actually need a zipper foot because the chain fell right into the groove of the piping foot. This is the side that will have a flap to hide the zipper. And to create that, all you have to do is mark a line 2 inches from the edge of the fabric on the back side, which does not have the zipper, then fold the zipper to that line and sew it in place, right over that other seam. When you're done, you'll have a flap that conceals the zipper. You might need to iron it on a low setting to make it lay flat. Before sewing the other side of the zipper and locking yourself into a certain length on the center panel, do a quick test fit. This is the moment of truth to see how everything lines up and whether any adjustments are needed. This one actually lined up perfectly, which honestly surprised me, but it's always safe to check before stitching anything. With that peace of mind, you can sew the other side of the zipper chain. The only difference is this side won't get the large fold over for the flap, just a normal top stitch. One benefit of attaching zippers this way is that one of the 2 seams is completely protected from abrasion and sunlight, which should make these covers incredibly durable. Trim the zipper to length as needed, fold it inside out, and install the slider to create this big tube. Now you can clip everything into place for real this time. Clip the connected side of the zipper first and center the side panel on the zipper opening with the outside surfaces touching. Once everything is clipped, sew with the side panel facing up. I like to take it slow in the corners to make sure I'm catching all the layers and staying tight against the piping for a clean finish once it's turned right side out. When you get to the zipper, do some reversing to create a zipper stop and add some strength. Take this slow, especially if you're using metal or molded tooth zipper. Repeat that for the other side, but just make sure you don't fully zip the bottom. You need that open to turn it right side out. I'm using bound Tex 90 thread for this entire project. It's my favorite thread because it's UV resistant, sews beautifully on the Ultra Feed, and comes in tons of colors. And I love that I can get it in small quantities, because I don't really need a huge cone of terracotta thread in my workshop, but this 1 ounce cone is perfect for one-off projects, and it saves me or my customer some money. That completes this first cover, so all that's left is inserting the foam. I sprayed some Cushion Right to attach the batting to the foam so things don't shift around as I shove it inside. The best way I found to do this is folding the foam in half to get it through the opening, then letting it expand and working out the corners. One down and a lot more to go. But now I know my pattern works for this wedge, so I can batch out the rest of them pretty quickly. So let's move on to the seat cushion. This one will go quicker because the only thing that's changing is the measurements. For the center panel, I measured 58.5 inches and added the same seam allowances for the zipper as before, which gave me 60 inches. The width is also 24 inches, same as the wedge. The side panels are 7 by 23.5 inches. Fast forward through the cutting, making the piping, sewing the piping to the sides, and sewing the first half of the zipper, and it was time for the test fit. And I didn't get lucky 2 times in a row because this time I had some extra length on the center panel. Keeping the 1/4 inch seam allowance in mind, I marked where the fabric should have ended and found that I needed to remove about 1.5 inches of it. It's hard to say exactly why this happened because I followed the same exact process as I did for the wedge, and those worked out perfectly, but that's why I recommend finishing one before you cut out all your pieces. With the other zipper sewn, I could clip everything together once again. This is what the proper alignment should look like. Assuming the rest of the build goes well, I'll use 58.5 inches as my revised cut measurement moving forward. I sewed both side panels as before, turned it right side out, and started installing the foam. It's much harder this time with a bigger piece of foam, but I still think folding it in half is the best way to get started. I gave it a bit of shaping, and that's 1 set down. 4 more to go. Let's skip the busy work and see what this set looks like. And that completes this project. I think this new fabric looks great with the space, and seat cushions like these are a great way to learn sewing. So get all the tools and materials that I used in today's project down in the description below. Thanks for watching.